Hi everyone. I haven't done one of these yet actually, but I wanted to do a bit of a December TBR video but make it a little bit different. I wanted to make it a bit like a reset video. I have a few books I know I'm going to read and then some I don't know, so I think I'm going to pick them in this video. Usually for my TBRs I have all my physical TBR in this little fairy loot bag and I pick books randomly. I'm not a mood reader. I think I like setting a TBR and just kind of like sticking to it because I like find very interesting books that way, and I read things that I don't think of picking up sometimes and it just works for me. I know other people just love to mood read. I'm the opposite. I like kind of having a plan or like picking something up that I just don't know much about. It works for me anyway. I thought I would take you guys with me as I decorate my house as well. I think I'm definitely going to put up my Christmas tree either this evening or tomorrow. I don't quite know, but I definitely want to do it now. So I think I'll do that, and I would love to do like a December maybe journal spread, and I might show that in this video. I don't know. I haven't filmed a reset video before, so I'm going to wing it and see how it goes. I think first of all, I'll talk about the books that I know I'm definitely going to read, and then I might pick maybe like one or two books from here. Just like kind of a surprise to myself to read something from my physical TBR. So yeah, that's the plan. We shall see if it goes well. In terms of the end of the year, I really want to read the first two books of the Crescent City series in preparation for the third book coming out in January. I don't know, is it the middle or end of January when it's coming out, so I do have plenty of time to read these, and I've mentioned these in previous videos that I do find them actually kind of quick enough to read. Like, I'm not very far at the moment. I'm just on chapter 13, which is page 143 out of like 800 pages, but I read those 140 pages very quick. I feel like this is kind of a quick read, even though it's very info dumpy, or info heavy, should I say. I've mentioned this in a vlog before. There is a lot of information and world building in this book, and it can be a lot, but I think it's done well because it's needed. Mass does need to set up the world, but I would call it more information heavy than information dumpy, because I feel like that's negative. So I feel like there's definitely parts of this where I was like, okay, I'm just going to read that paragraph again just to make sure it clicks in my head. However, I am really enjoying it. I'm reading these for the first time. I've mentioned this in a video before, but I am reading these along with Jodie from Vanilla Moon's Patreon. She did a read-along post where I think we're supposed to hit certain chapters by certain dates, so we are finished before the third book comes out. So I'm not necessarily following the timeline. I am very behind if that's the case. I'm kind of reading these at my own pace, but I do plan to be finished before the third book comes out. These are beautiful books. I think they're so pretty. This is Mass's first urban fantasy. So it's set in this city where there's just this amalgamation of different creatures. So you have Bryce, the main character. She's half human, half fae. Her best friend is like a werewolf shapeshifter. The other main character in this is Hunt. He's an angel. There's vampires. There's like foals. Absolutely everything. So it is quite fun that way. Bryce and her friend Danica are just out of college. They're kind of like young party girls. They're kind of lively. I really enjoy Bryce as a main character. The tone has shifted so dramatically in this book. It was kind of like light and fun, and now it's very dark and serious, and I really am enjoying that kind of change in tone. I thought it was done very, very well. Bryce essentially is, would I say, a witness to a crime. It's 2 years later and she's actually been asked to help in the investigation because she's a witness and she's connected in a way. She's actually brought on to help the angel legions, who are kind of the policing system in this world, to solve the mystery. So that's kind of just been like set up right now. So it's been really, really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it more than Mass's other series that I read, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses. Yeah, I think this is just suits my style a little bit more. But yeah, liking it so far. So that's definitely the plan. So very much I would like to read these for the end of the year. I love the colour scheme. So another book I know I want to get to in December is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. So this is book 2 in the Raven cycle. I've mentioned the first book, The Raven Boys, in 2 videos. I mentioned them in my Dark Academia reading vlog, and I mentioned it in my most recent reads video, so I can link those below for a more like full review of that book. But short story is, I loved it so much that I want to read the next 3 books immediately. I actually asked for them for Christmas, and I feel like a 12-year-old doing that. But my mother was like, what do you want? I was like, the Raven Cycle. So yeah, I feel like a child at Christmas time. Like I feel like teenage me again, asking for a book series. Yeah, so I got books 2, 3 and 4. So I think it is The Dream Thieves, Blue Lily Lily Blue, and then The Raven King. I think that's the 4 books. And then afterwards you have like a spin-off series, the Dreamer trilogy, which is based on Ronan, who's one of the Raven boys. So I've got a lot of books to go, so I'm very, very happy. But definitely in December I would love to read The Dream Thieves. So that's book number 2. I'm really excited for it too, because we should get Ronan's perspective. We didn't get his perspective in the first book. Quick summary though of the Raven boys is, one of the main characters is Blue. She is this daughter of a psychic, and she lives in this like little psychic commune. She doesn't have any powers herself, but she's kind of an amplifier. She makes other people's powers more loud. She kind of falls into this like friendship group of boys that go to the Eglinby Academy. And this is like a really high flying academy where all the boys that go there are like shoo-ins for Ivy League. They're usually all wealthy. And I say usually because you've got Adam in the Raven Boys, so he's actually a scholarship student. He's actually very poor, but he's worked very hard and got a scholarship to go there. You have Gamzee as well. He's the other point of view. There's 3 points of view, so he's the third one, and he is a really well-off student who's doing well in school. He is definitely kind of like a leader character, and he has this kind of obsession over this mythical story basically of this Welsh king. The theory is that if you wake up this Welsh king, he will grant you a wish, I believe. So he's found evidence that this is actually true, and he is obsessed with studying ley lines and mythology, and he really wants to find this Welsh king, so he kind of like drags his friends along with him, but they're all quite interested in the story and thinking if it's true or not. It's just a really atmospheric, beautiful book. You have them all like exploring forests and ley lines, and there's a bit of magical realism in this book where the magic is Latin based. It's a very just unique book and really wholesome while still having really dark tones. It's like super funny. Yeah, it's just a beautiful book. It's really beautiful. It ended on a slight cliffhanger. I'm really hoping we get Ronan's perspective. So Ronan is in the first book kind of acting out after the death of his father, so he's definitely a bit of a delinquent. So I'm really excited to get into his mind, I feel, or his point of view, and I really hope we get his perspective. He's on the cover of the second book. I really hope we do. Anyway, that's what I would really like to read in December as well. Obviously the end of December after Christmas. So yeah, they're the books so far that I know I definitely want to read. Usually for TBR I like picking about 4 books. That's a book a week in a month, so I think it's very doable. And obviously if I do more than that, that's great. If I do less than that, it's fine. I'm not too hard on myself with finishing a TBR, but I think in terms of picking a TBR, I like picking 4 because it's a very manageable number. Crescent City will take me more than a week, but anyway. Dream Thieves, I don't think so. I will probably read that in one sitting. What I think I might do is pick 2 random books from my physical TBR, and I'll hopefully read them in December as well. So yeah, I have all, I don't want to tell you how many slips I have. I really should do a physical TBR video. I've seen a few of them going around YouTube. I would be very interested to see how many I have because I don't quite know. Okay, so I'll pick book number 1. Okay, interesting. Norwegian Wood. So this is by, is it Murakami? And I think this is just like a general fiction book, but it's actually romance heavy. I was like hunting for it in this bookshelf and it was right here, actually just right next to me. But anyway, this is my first Murakami actually. I've never read him before, but I am interested. I do love a literary fiction book. I do believe Murakami is Japanese, and this was originally written in Japanese and translated to English. But this book is set in Japan. So this is about Toru. So I think it's him reflecting back on like 20 years previous. I think he's like middle-aged at this time. Thinks back 20 years to a time when he was in love with this girl called Naoku. So I think it's kind of like a one that got away type. But then he's also reflecting back on when he met Midori, so that's another woman. So I don't know, is it a story of him choosing between the two who his real love was? So I think that's exciting, the fact that it's a maybe lit fic, contemporary fiction, but a romance story as well. I heard like mixed things about Murakami. I feel like some people don't like him, some people do. I think his writing can be a little bit divisive, so I'm not quite sure. But he has a lot of quite famous books out, so okay, that's fun. That's very different to the other two books, so that's good if I'm more in a mood for a bit of a slice of life book or a romance book. I don't think this is a romance book, I think it's just a book about a man's life, so I think this would be fun. Hopefully I like it, and hopefully I like Murakami because he is quite a prolific author. Okay, I think I'll just pick like one more. Here's this one. Oh, a sci-fi, very good. Okay, this is kind of like why I like doing this. That's why I like doing it, because I always pick like really out there books or books that are like super different, so I'm not kind of reading a lot of the same stuff. I just turned my light on, so hopefully that improves the lighting. I don't know if it made any difference, but anyway. So this is Want. So this is by Cindy Pon, and I don't know when this came out, but oh, it's recent enough, 2017. Okay, so this is a kind of a sci-fi dystopian book where the world is like totally polluted and only the wealthy or certain types of people have these suits that can protect them from the pollution. So obviously there's like class divisions. The main character, Jason Zhu, is part of an uprising, I think, to like overthrow this ideology or this system. And I do love a dystopia, and this is the start of a series. I don't know, is it a trilogy? Definitely a sequel at the very least. That is fun, very, very different. Okay, so that's my end of year TBR. It seems pretty doable and I'm excited about all these. Whoa. I don't know if you can tell, but I have our white lights all over our living room, so I have to use the colour lights for the tree, but I think that'll be fun anyway. Okay, I did the whole tree. I've got this much left, so I'm just gonna like fill in the gaps. I don't know about anyone else, but I like decorating my lights at night and then the actual decoration during the day. I think lights are easier to see at night. So I will break this into two parts. So yeah, that's my December reset video along with my TBR and like all my reading plans. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, I do anything book related on this channel, so reading vlogs, readathons, reading wrap-ups, anything book related. I'll leave all the books I mentioned and all my socials in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.